I had this stream idea of like me as like somebody who barely has like any knowledge about Star Wars, sitting down with a bunch of people who just like have been through the ringer with like modern Star Wars and stuff.
And like having them explain it to
Like,
you.
yeah, and just like what's wrong with it? I watched I watched the first two movies, episodes uh 3 and 4, 4 and 5, something like that.
Yeah.
Uh that's all that's where my exposure
So you
begins and
saw the
ends with the
good ones.
franchise. Yes, yes. I saw like the best of the best.
It's not the
Now
best of the best. That's
now
the good ones.
now tell me the rest.
Star Wars is a relatively simpler thing. So there was episode 6, and it had a side plot that people really didn't like, but for the most part, people generally liked episode 6. And then there was a gap, about a decade, and then there was the prequels, and people didn't like the
Mhm.
prequels because it was written and directed by both George Lucas, and it was a little bit too much about like 9/11 and like global war on terror, and
Wait,
mostly like boring political drama stuff spaced
really?
out by like boring action. Yeah, like
I
most of it has the line, you know the line, like this is how democracy dies, uh with thunderous applause.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
That's from the prequels. So yeah, the people generally didn't like the prequels. Another decade passes. George Lucas sells Star Wars to Disney, and they make the sequels. The
yes.
first one was made by J.J. Abrams.
Hmm. Okay.
It was just episode 4, but rehashed. And it's that same like 45-year-old guy that buys Funko Pop that really liked the the first sequel movie, but it made like $2 billion.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah,
made an absurd amount of money.
yeah, of course. It's
So
first Star
then
Wars game in like or movie in like over a decade.
then they gave episode 8 to the guy that made Brick
What is
and Looper.
Brick?
Have you ever seen Looper?
Oh, Looper? No.
Yeah, you've never seen if you're unless you're a film connoisseur, you've never seen anything that Rian Johnson's ever made.
Okay.
He's a very subversive director, and he wanted to make a movie. He made a movie about how Luke Skywalker was like this loser incel
Go away!
that wanted to kill his nephew. Luke Skywalker, who, by the way, redeemed Adolf Hitler and gave him like an honorable death and killed Satan.
Wait.
He got tired and like tried to kill his nephew, and then
Okay.
banished himself from society for 30 years while the Fourth Reich rose again.
This is the plot of the
Episode
the
8.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
So most of the
Okay.
movie is Luke Skywalker being emasculated. This is like 50
It's-
minutes. And then
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other
so
part
it's just
is like this,
character assassination.
yeah, and then the other part is them going to capitalist planet and like visiting a casino and like riding horses through it to ruin it, and then like getting
are you-
caught trying to break into a ship and about to be executed. And then the main girl goes and kills Space Hitler V4, and like tries to make out with her not brother.
What?
And then that sets up shipping, and then they go to like a final planet where Luke Skywalker like just kills himself to do nothing, to accomplish nothing, and the rebellion escapes. And it's like the rebellion has been reduced to like literally 6 people at this point. So like it's over. Hitler won. Hitler V5 won, and then that's episode 8.
Wait, but I thought they killed Hitler V5.
No, they killed Hitler V4, and then Hitler V5
Oh.
took over.
Okay. I got it.
So that's episode 8. It was
Hold on. Wait,
mildly
wait.
divisive.
So I can, yeah, I understand why that would be a little bit divisive. So the first part of the film is I guess Last of Us Part 2 again, And then the second part of the film is, it sounds like, what's that? What the fuck's that movie? Where they're in
It's like
Vegas.
soft Outer Worlds.
It sounds like Bachelor's a fucking, God, what was that movie that everybody fucking loves? That's in Vegas, and it's like,
Now you
fuck.
see me too. I don't know. Casino Royale.
No. It's some fucking stupid comedy movie. It has like a shack in it, I think, or something like that.
Well,
Hangover.
The Hangover.
There you go.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
So we go from Last of Us Part 2 to Hangover.
Yeah. And then the last part is like I don't even know. Fear and Loathing?
the last part is
So we haven't even got to episode 9. So episode 8 hits and the internet shits itself. It becomes a political issue. So left-wing people have to love the movie and right-wing people hate the movie. You know, left-wing people are like, it's subversive. It's a commentary on capitalism. 2016? 2016,
the year.
2017. So yeah,
The
year, yes. The culture war is going on. It has started. Oh yeah, like Leia flies out in space. You remember Leia?
Yeah.
Yeah, she like flies around in space for one part.
What do you mean flies around?
Well, she just gets like sucked out into space and then like just flies back. Like of her will.
What? Is she like Jesus Christ or something?
You know, she has the gay, the magic of the setting. So, episode 9, Hitler
Hitler
V2 returns.
Hold on, wait. Is this like because I remember like the actress who played Leia passed away. Was this like around
this
that
was
time?
a very unfortunate coincidence. Oh yeah, episode 7 kills Han, episode 8 kills Luke, and episode 9 kills Leia.
Okay. So they're just going down the line.
Yeah, I mean, there's summary execution after summary execution.
Yeah.
So, episode 9, Hitler V2 returns from the dead.
Okay.
There's a line, and it's delivered by Oscar Isaac, who got paid a lot of money to deliver this line and does a good job just expressing the exasperation that they must feel, which is Jesus Christ. Somehow, he doesn't say Jesus Christ. Somehow, Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Now, I can't explain how schizophrenic episode 9 is, because it goes all over the place, but the gist of it is that Hitler V2 has returned, and they gotta go confront him.
Somehow.
So, like, Girl and Hitler V4, they're like on-off, kissy-kissy.
At this point, are the writers in on it?
They don't know what to do. They're trying to, like, unfuck episode 8 and its contributions. Because J.J. Abrams came back.
Oh, they had to bring him back.
Yeah, they had to deliver like $1 billion to his mansion to bring him back to try to salvage this. So, throughout the movie, Girl and Hitler V2, they're all kissy on off. At one point, she stabs him while his mom Leia is trying to like call him through the Force, and it's implied that kills Leia. So Girl has killed Leia, and then she uses the Force to resurrect Boy, and then like they show up together to fight Hitler V2. And
what?
It's the climactic showdown. So Hitler V2 is like, I am all the Sith. And Rey goes, no, I am all the Jedi. And they like channel the power of each like character pantheon, and she beats him. And then, oh yeah, she's Hitler V2's granddaughter, by the way. So like the whole time they're like pretending that she's like a character of no relevance, when actually she's related to like one of the, most powerful people in the universe.
Oh, okay. So let me get this straight.
Yes.
They killed Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
Right.
And
To
undermined all
create-
of his accomplishments.
to create a female clone of him.
No, because she already existed.
No, but like,
Well,
Wait.
yeah, of course. She ends up being like the same, like, of course,
Well,
like unlike him, she doesn't go through any like hardship.
yeah, no. But that's the whole thing, is like she's just redoing his plot line.
Yes, kind of in a very truncated way.
Okay, in a very awkward sort of way.
Yeah, and she makes out with Hitler V4 because people on the
What?
internet ship them. Do you know what shipping is?
No.
Okay, so shipping is when fan fiction writers write
Oh no.
relationships of two characters. And so after episode 8, because they had like a lot of tension, they would like call each other and be like, I hate you, and he would be like, well, I'm shirtless, so and I'm Adam Driver, so like, do you really hate me? And she's like, yes, I'm only wet because it's raining here. So a lot of people took inspiration from that and wrote these fan fictions where they would do just the most heinous and perverted things to each other. And so they wanted to pay that off, right? So
no. No. What?
Well, of course. I mean, he only killed like a few million people. Maybe a billion. Yes, he had a super weapon that could destroy multiple planets, but he didn't pull the trigger. He just was there.
Okay. I'm still just trying to wrap my head around a writing team yielding to smut.
By the way, they
fanfiction.
plagiarized it from a fan fiction.
Oh my god.
There was a fan fiction that basically wrote the romance subplot of episode 9, like beat for beat. But that was probably because there was so much smut that was written of these two characters that anything
the
they wrote
probability.
anything they wrote would have been plagiarism.
So like, why write anything at all is the most obvious question. But like, okay, let's backtrack. So this because we were talking about how writers resent having to work in other people's IPs with their ideas and
Yeah.
stuff. So like, up until this point, they've just been ruthlessly just ripping out, like just kicking down pillars of the whole
Mhm.
franchise.
Mhm. Well, they
You
got
know,
to tear them
characters-
out to build up their new younger
character
actors.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. But if this is all about like a matter of pride, basically, why are they then yielding to people writing fan fiction?
Because that's the only people who liked The Last Jedi. Unironically, because leftists would pretend to like it, and they knew they were pretending to like it just because of the message, right? The only people who genuinely liked episode 8 were the people who wanted episode 9 to be at least 60 minutes of them fucking. And would not be happy unless it was that.
Oh my god.
Listen, they've never shown sex in Star Wars, but this would be a good first time.
This is Disney, right?
Of course. We haven't even gotten to Mandalorian yet.
It gets worse.
You have no idea. So,
Oh,
anyways,
no.
listen. Hitler v4 dies because even though it will upset the fans, there's no way they can let a guy that killed 1 billion people live, right? But he's redeemed. He's a good guy now, but he dies
Wait.
redeemed.
Oh, okay. So, wait.
It's like
the
Hitler
fans-
v1. Hitler v1 died and was redeemed.
Yeah, but like the fans would have been upset that Hitler v. This is 4, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about.
Because they liked the bad boy element.
Oh.
They're fine with a little genocide if it's hot.
I see.
It's okay.
We're-
Rey sucks out his soul.
There's an allegory for you. I need the media lit people to get on that one. What does that mean? Oh my god.
Head game crazy. So
okay.
she goes and buries the lightsabers of Luke and Leia because Leia had a lightsaber. I guess they're all dead, right?
Mhm.
So Leia's like super dead because Carrie Fisher died. So they got to end the movie with respecting Carrie Fisher, and they were guessing Mark Hamill would die for some reason, probably.
Oh my god.
So, she buries their lightsabers, and then some lady comes up and she's like, "Who are you?" And Rey thinks about it. She stares at the camera for like 15 seconds, saying nothing. And she says, "Rey." And the old lady responds, "Rey who?" And she contemplates this, and she decides, she's Rey Palpatine, right? But she's realized that she's something greater.
She
She says,
Mysterio.
Rey Skywalker.
Wait. Oh,
Go on.
How?
Well, okay, listen. They may not have married, but it was effectively marriage. And it may have been Ben Solo, but he was related to Leia, who wasn't by blood was a Skywalker, but actually was Amidala, so she's like Luke was Luke Skywalker. Listen, it's called Rise of Skywalker. That's the name of the movie. It's got to end with her being a Skywalker because she's the only one left. She killed all the other ones.
What?
Well, yeah, she killed Luke by emasculating him to the point that he wasn't able to contribute to Episode 8. And she killed Leia by stabbing Hitler v4. And then she kills Ben by sucking his soul out. So there's no Skywalkers left. She's killed all of them, and she's burying the evidence. She's burying the evidence on the sand planet where nobody will ever visit. And then when somebody passes, they ask, "Who are you?" And she takes their name because she doesn't want people to know that she's related to Hitler v2.
Oh my. Is she supposed to be a hero figure in this story?
Of course, they're making a sequel. They're making a trilogy about her.
What?
I mean,
thought
it's one of the 24 trilogies they're making, but this was one of the first ones they announced. They're doing a Rey Skywalker trilogy where she's like a master Jedi.
Who was the old lady?
Just some desert woman.
Just some desert woman who just happened to stumble upon her burying the evidence.
They'll find the last evidence. She's like, "Damn, I gotta find another place to dig this cat hole." Or they're gonna try to salvage this shit and dig it out for episode 10. So that's the sequel trilogy.
Okay. Well, man.
But listen, they made The Mandalorian. The first season was... A lot of people liked the first season. Baby Yoda.
Yeah. I heard people...
I think
it was the first positive news that I've heard from the... From
Did you bring up the Death Star and the dagger?
Stuff.
Oh, right. The way they found Hitler v2 was they went to the ruins of the Death Star, and she had this knife that her parents were killed with, and she pops out this protractor from the side of it and lines it up with the ruins of the Death Star, And when she lines it up perfectly, the protractor points at the room she needs to go to find the key that she needs to get to Hitler V2's location.
What? So is like, does that mean like this whole universe is predetermined now?
No, listen, there's the guy who carved that knife 20 years ago knew how the ruins would decompose, because by the way, the Death Star is crashed in an ocean.
Okay. I was imagining it crashing on like an airless rock.
No. It crashed on an ocean planet.
So how did she put on like a scuba suit? Is she going diving?
I remember there was a really dumb plot about like, you can't go out there. There's an African woman that says this. You can't go out there. It's too dangerous. She's Lando's daughter, by the way, but also like Lando hits on her or something. By the way, Lando's the only one that survived because he had sex with robots in the Solo movie. We didn't even talk about the Solo movie. This came out before Rise of Skywalker. Solo is a movie about Han Solo from before Episode 4, how he became Han Solo, and it's about how there was this girl he wanted to fuck, but she got into sex slavery with like a criminal gang, and he got like enlisted in the military, and Lando Calrissian was like this robot fucker who gambled the ship, and he got the Millennium Falcon from gambling the ship. But there was this robot on board that Lando just wouldn't stop fucking. Just over and over. And eventually, like, she dies and her soul gets uploaded to the ship. So actually, the entire time, this robot soul that was fucking Lando is on the ship all along.
So the real doll had an actual soul in it?
Well, like a machine spirit.
Okay. So like the AI from what's it called? Outer Worlds. The ship AI.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget what else happens in Solo. There's a big dumb heist. Eventually he meets up with his sex slave love interest, but actually she's evil, so like, he's freed up to go procreate with Leia, sorry. Not Padme.
Okay. So, is she still enslaved at that point?
No, I think it was a plot point that like she was actually willingly hanging out with the bad guys. It's the Daenerys actor, by the way.
Oh my god.
And then like Darth Maul, do you remember? No, you don't remember Darth Maul. You didn't watch Episode 1. Darth Maul was the Hitler V-4 from Episode 1 who stabbed Liam Neeson and then got cut in half and fell down a 5,000-foot elevator shaft. And
sounds like he should be pretty dead.
Eventually, in the animated show, he comes back and he has robot legs. Like he managed to survive through sheer hatred, and I don't think they've ever resolved what was going on with him in Solo. He's just like running a crime gang. Anyways, that's just a sell merch. So Mandalorian. Mandalorian was, a lot of people will go, it was mid. I thought it was all right, comparatively. It was a TV show. It had Pedro Pascal.
It doesn't sound like the bar is very high.
It had Pedro Pascal, and he wore a helmet for like 7 of the 8 episodes. And he had a thing about like, he can't take his helmet off because of his culture. But it was cool. It was a cool show.
So what was the Halo's show's excuse then?
Oh, nothing. No, that was the point. Was that Halo show was embarrassing because they made the Mandalorian and he wore the helmet in most of the episodes.
And you have a much higher profile actor there, like Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal was cool with it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And then Mandalorian season 2 happened.
Okay.
Man, okay, at this point we're starting to reach into stuff where I barely remember the fucking plots of what happened. All I remember from Mandalorian season 2 was that there was an episode where Bill Burr shows up and there's a guy who's like, and the Empire was good and we killed lots of alien children and we created order across the galaxy, and Bill Burr was like, I'm gonna shoot this guy. Oh, and Mandalorian was forced to take his helmet off for the entire episode, and it was big moral conflict for him. At this point, he's kind of stops wearing it. Oh yeah, there was a Mandalorian chick who was in the Clone Wars. So at this point, there was this show called The Clone Wars during the prequel era. And there was a guy named Dave Filoni who ran it, who had this thing for this preteen alien girl that was like Hitler V0's apprentice.
Oh, okay.
They would do like, listen, it was all right, but she, didn't wear panties and did lots of flips and
what?
Okay, that part's made up. That part's of me. But
okay.
But she was questionable, okay? Like she was jailbait.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and she never wore anything that covered her midriff.
Ah.
And she was a good friend.
Wait, wasn't that an animated show?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So it's okay. It market it as anime and say she's, 1,000 years old and it's fine.
Yeah, so anyways, so he starts bringing his OCs over into the Mandalorian, and it started with like this Mandalorian chick who had red hair who was like, I'm gonna rebuild the glory of Mandalore, but I need these certain things, and she forced a lot of conflict through this season. Her inclusion in it seemed unnecessary, and then Luke Skywalker showed up because like Hitler V6 stole Baby Yoda, because Baby Yoda. I don't even have to like mention him. You know him.
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen the memes.
Okay, well then Baby Yoda. That's the character. He's this little gremlin that like kills children. Sorry, kills child animals. It eats their young.
What?
Yeah, he eats like baby spiders.
So like,
yeah, he's like 50 years old. He's got the mind of a grown man. It's just that his body grows slowly, and he's big into the diaper play. I mean, that's just a slight exaggeration. I don't think they do diaper play. I'm not sure how he, takes care of his digestive products, but
yeah, but I mean, like, he's 50 years like.
So Gus from Breaking Bad shows up to kidnap him because he's got the magic blood that'll reincarnate Hitler V2 into Hitler V4 before they cut that plot point.
Wait.
No, Hitler V3. Sorry. They're reincarnating Hitler V2 into V3.
I'm still I thought Luke Skywalker was dead.
No. So this is after episode 6 but before episode 7, which means that they need to use deepfakes to incorporate Mark Hamill, but as he looked in the 80s.
Yeah.
I forget how they did it. I think it looked cursed, but people forgave it because it was Luke Skywalker. It was actually Luke Skywalker, not Jake Skywalker, who was emasculated to death in episode 8.
Who's Jake Skywalker? Is that just like a
Jake
nickname?
Skywalker is the nickname for the Luke Skywalker who behaved horribly out of character. So like
Mr. John Halo.
Yeah, so he shows up randomly to rescue Baby Yoda, the 50-year-old man, from...
Okay, question.
Yes.
Where does Baby Yoda come from, and what happened to OG Yoda?
We don't know where Baby Yoda came from. Maybe it's in a later season. He has no formal relation to old Yoda. Old Yoda dies in episode 6. But he comes... I forgot this! He comes back in episode 9. So, in episode... 9, the ghost of Luke Skywalker comes back to say, oh yeah, all that old Jedi stuff, that's not a waste of time like I said in the last movie. Actually, it's super important, and I was just testing you, and now we have a new writer that is making me say these things. So, before he says all that, he strikes the tree that was on the island that he was living on that had all the had all the books on how to be a Jedi in it, and... No shit. Fuck, I'm forgetting what the ghost plot is. Fuck, my mind's unraveling. He tells Rey Skywalker to not feel too bad about cuckolding him to death, and then Ghost Yoda shows up and he shoots his tree with lightning and says, actually all those old Jedi books are shit. What's important is inside. What's important, that chick's got it. It's inside her.
Wait. The chick that stole his name?
Yes.
She's the one.
Yeah, Yoda likes her.
Yoda likes her.
Yoda likes her.
Luke,
because Luke was a cuckold. Yoda wasn't into that.
So Luke is basically simping for her. Like,
no,
he's like, hey, it's all right.
I mean, like, kind of. He doesn't really believe in her, but Yoda's like, you know, Luke, you may be 60, but you still haven't learned a lesson since you were 20 and used to hang out with me.
But I thought Luke is dead.
He is. He's back as a ghost. What part of this did you miss?
So we have an argument between two ghosts.
Yes, and because ghosts can strike trees with lightning, we will now be able to have Ghost
the
Palpatine.
Old Testament? Where's the fucking burning bush?
The tree was lit on fire. That's the burning bush.
So she's Moses.
Yes. She parts the sea to the Death Star so that she can recover the Old Testament that will let her defeat Baal, so that Yahweh will be able to become the one true God and manifest the Messiah, which is her son with Ben Solo after she fucks him for 60 minutes in episode 9.
Does the plot twist end, like, is the ultimate plot twist that she's a virgin this entire time?
Well, of course.
She's the blessed she's the blessed virgin.
Yeah, of course, and Jesus.
Yeah,
don't forget that.
All in one.
All in one. Mary, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. She's got it all. She's got the spirit of all the Jedi.
Yeah. She's beyond the Trinity. She's like how many bodies does she have on her at this point?
I mean, culpable billions. She's all the Jedi. She's all the Jedi. The Jedi are ghosts. They infuse all their past lives into her so that she can beat all the Sith, and then...
Wait. But why?
Because Palpatine has all the Sith, and she needs their help to beat him.
Yeah, but, like, why
Fuck,
her? She
I forgot more.
Awful.
So there's this scene where Palpatine has prepared 1 billion Star Destroyers, which are giant ships, and they rise out of the earth. They didn't build hangars for them. They just rise through the earth, and they're trying to go up, but they don't know where up is. So they have these dishes and radar towers on the ground that help them coordinate which way is up, because they can't figure it out. And then all the galaxy shows up to fight all of these Star Destroyers. And by the way, these Star Destroyers all have laser cannons on them that are as strong as the Death Star. Remember the Death Star blew up a planet? All of these Star Destroyers can blow up planets. So his plan is he's going to send them all out to blow up one planet each and destroy the galaxy. So all of the galaxy shows up to fight him. And then he gets pissed off and he's like, he shoots lightning into the sky and knocks all of the rebel ships out of the sky. That's how powerful Palpatine is. Then he shoots lightning at Rey, and she blocks it with 2 lightsabers.
Oh, well, that's a lot of Jedi power she's got.
Yeah, of course. She's fucking juicing with it.
I'm just imagining her sitting in like a locker room somewhere and just like pulls out like a vial. It just says like Skywalker essence, and she's just like mainlining that shit.
Mm-hmm. She is the Skywalker. That's the Skywalker who rose in Rise of Skywalker. That's the name of the movie, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Gold, ship it.
Wait, that's how the movie ended?
The movie ends with her saying that she's Rey Skywalker.
Wait. All of this happens before she becomes Rey Skywalker.
Yeah, of course. That's Rey Skywalker is the end of the movie. Before the end of the movie, Hitler V3 shoots lightning into the sky that destroys everything, and the rebels barely surviving take out this radar dish on the ground, and that causes all the ships to forget where up is, and they all fall out of the sky, and that's it.
What?
Well, yeah, they didn't know which way was up. They've lived underground their entire lives. Oh yeah, and they rode horses to destroy the ships. They rode horses not on the ground, on the ships, on the side of the ships.
What?
Because they rode horses in episode 8, remember? Come on, keep up here.
In the casino?
Yeah, in the casino, they rode horses, and that means that now they ride horses, like in the rebellion.
Oh, okay.
No, Hitler V1 is Darth Vader. Hitler V2 is Emperor Palpatine.
So, yeah. Okay. So he lost.
Absolutely. We promise he cannot return this time.
But he's still alive.
He maybe in Fortnite he will announce again that he's back. Did I mention that? He announced his return, that he was back alive again in Fortnite. Thanos hit the gritty in Fortnite, and then Emperor Palpatine said, "I have returned." I forget what he said, but
I
didn't
for just like a Fortnite crossover, right?
Well, yeah, of course.
Okay. So it's
They
like
still don't have lightsabers in Fortnite, though.
Don't they have like melee weapons in that game though?
Yeah, but they don't have lightsabers.
Why? Is the licensing cost too much?
They cost too much. They wanted $quadrillion.
Okay.
So, where are we at?
I don't know.
I don't remember Mandalorian Season 3. I don't even know if there's a Mandalorian Season 3, but I think... Oh, no, right. So, Luke Skywalker is back in the story, and he meets with Grogu, and he's going to train him, and he's going to...
Wait, okay. Who's playing Luke Skywalker at this point? Is this Mark Hamill still? Or has he finally...
No, he's too old to do the movements. They got like a body double that they're deep faking. Oh yeah, Book of Boba Fett. That was between the second and third season. So, do you know who Boba Fett is? No, you don't, because you didn't see episode 6. So Boba Fett was this bounty hunter from episode 6 who got absolutely shit-whopped and sucked and died. But people like him for some reason, because he's got a jetpack and he does like kind of a cool nod. He's like a Tarantino character. It's like side character, right?
Okay.
So, his dad was this bounty hunter in the Old Republic, and they cloned him a billion times to make the perfect soldiers, but he had one clone set aside without all the like training and modification to raise as a son, and that was Boba Fett. So eventually Boba Fett digs his way out of this thing that ate him in the desert. He survives getting eaten by a thing in the desert, and he comes back. And when they made the Mandalorian's based on Boba Fett, so they thought it was going to be a Boba Fett show. Well, now we're doing a Boba Fett show with the actor who played his dad, who got decapitated in episode 2. But anyways, most of the show was pretty garbage, but Mandalorian shows up and just hijacks the show partway through. It just turns into Mandalorian season 2.5. So yeah, that was Mandalorian season 2.5, and then Luke comes back, and then Ahsoka Tano, remember the jailbait midriff girl from the Clone Wars? So Dave Filoni's
Yes.
finally able to put her in something. So they bring adult Ahsoka to this Mandalorian show, which is no longer really about the Mandalorian. It's like Baby Yoda and his adventures more so. Even though Mandalorian's adventures were more interesting, Baby Yoda sells more merch. So
who is Baby Yoda?
he is a guy that is good at the Force.
But why does he share a name with Yoda? Is his
Because
name
he's-
actually Baby Yoda?
Yes, in canon, his name is Baby Yoda. No, his name is Grogu, but everybody calls him Baby Yoda because he didn't have a name until like the second season.
Ah, okay. So I guess like he's of the same race as
Yes, he's the
Yoda.
same race as Yoda, but he's a baby. But he's like 50 because they just age slowly. So it's a grown man
Okay.
in the body of an infant.
Okay. So how old was Yoda in the
He was like 1,000 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, he was fucking up for like 1,000 years. He was like, "Oh, I can't sense evil. I cannot. Too clouded this weed has made me."
In what movie did they like give him an age?
Fuck, I don't know.
Is that like
But he was ancient, and even
Is
in
that
the
the
like,
original-
prequels, he doesn't.
Okay.
I don't think they ever say is it's like extended canon.
okay. Now I understand what Baby Yoda
Ketamine, I
is.
must go do. So,
Okay, question. Another question.
yes.
Why did Baby Yoda take off when Jar Jar Binks did not?
Well, Baby Yoda has big eyes, and he's not really like too offensive of a character, whereas Jar Jar Binks is like, he's like a troll from World of Warcraft, you know, like a really offensive stereotype. He's like, "Oh, Misa stepping shit because Misa bumbling retard."
Well, I've heard of the theory
By
that
the-
he's actually a Sith Lord.
No. So what happened was, for somehow he was elected. Somehow he was elected senator of Naboo, which is the planet from the first movie, and he in episode 3, he proposes a vote to give Hitler V2 the ultimate power in the Republic to just like endless emergency powers to do whatever he wants to.
Okay.
Somehow.
Okay.
And then he like I don't know what happened to his character afterwards. I think he drowned in cum or something. I don't know. The notes weren't clear.
He's just straight pimping. He died a player.
Yeah, he becomes a war criminal, gets elected senator, you know, puts Hitler in power, and then like goes out P. Diddy style.
Oh my god.
So here's the thing. I never saw The Acolyte. The only thing I remember about The Acolyte is that there's stormtrooper zombies and a chick gets stabbed with a lightsaber, but it doesn't kill her. So now like lightsabers aren't fatal.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh yeah,
There's
and
a
there's
comment in
lesbian
here.
space witches. So these
There's a
lesbians
scene
are
where Baby Yoda extracts a dude's ribs and makes him suck his own dick. What?
yeah.
What? I thought they were trolling.
I mean, it's not literally his dick, but he folds them in half.
Oh my-
He's the good guy though.
Wait. Who's the good guy?
Baby Yoda.
I-
Because he did it to fascists.
Oh, I see.
But listen, there were lesbian space witches, and they did the good magic, but it optically didn't look good. It looked like bad magic. So the Jedi came and they started doing like evil looking magic, and they killed them, and then something else happened. I don't know. This is where I stopped watching it. I stopped even watching like reviews of it. So like first I didn't watch it, and then I watched it ironically, and then I just watched reviews of it, and then like even the reviews were too like stupid for me to watch. So like at this point I'm fucking up what happens in what show, because it's a string. Like I don't know why there's 6 different shows. I don't know why they've announced 25 different Star Wars properties that none of them seem to be coming out.
Because they have a streaming service and they need people not to cancel their subscriptions. So they need to just have like constant stuff coming out.
You missed the Obi-Wan show. I did miss the Obi-Wan show. You know who Obi-Wan is?
Yeah.
The old guy from the first movie, right?
Yeah.
So he's like a young guy. He trains Hitler V1 in the prequels, right? So they get his prequels actor to do the show that takes place between episode 3 and episode 4, where he's on Tatooine, but he's kind of doing side quests. And that's all I remember. There was a gate that they could have drove around, but they didn't, because they didn't think to drive around the gate.
Okay. I mean, listen, if that's the most offensive thing in this show, the fact that you don't remember anything.
No, there was worse. I just don't remember it.
If you don't remember it, it sounds like it wasn't as bad as like episode 9.
No, it's hard to be as bad as episode 9. Like, don't set that bar. Kid
So
Leia was there, yes.
Is episode 9 rock bottom? Because that was really bad.
Episode 9 is the start of the top of the roller coaster that takes you to rock bottom.
What?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, like, that's where the floundering starts, you know, like they don't know what to do. They're like trying to appeal to what fans.
What do you mean? What do you mean they don't know what to do? They haven't known what to do since the fucking first J.J. Abrams movie.
No, they knew like that they should appeal to nostalgia, and then this based guy named Rian Johnson came along and killed the franchise with this movie called The Last Jedi, which was episode 8. And he made it like just impossible to continue Star Wars from there on, because like nothing mattered, all your heroes suck, you can't accomplish anything because the status quo is always going to reset itself. So like, why even bother? There was this time in episode 9 when Chewbacca, remember Chewbacca the dog? He gets kidnapped by stormtroopers, and Rey, in like desperation, she's like, no, Chewie. She shoots lightning out of her hands and shoots down the ship. And they're like, oh my god, we killed Chewie. And then it turns out he wasn't on that ship. That was just a random ship she shot down.
Oh, okay. No big deal.
No big deal, right? So because Chewbacca didn't die. Yeah.
So,
and mind you, this was like right after her boyfriend was gonna kill her in a DUI. So she turns around from this aircraft that's going like 900 miles per hour at her, and she does a backflip where she cuts it in half with her lightsaber as she flies over it, and like he crashes out at like 900 miles per hour.
Okay.
So he's fine.
He's fine.
Well, of course he's fine. He's hot.
Wait, so what was the other vehicle? Was just like
some transport hauler. It was carrying tourists. They were there for like Burning Man or something, like Space Burning Man. So she killed like a bunch of rich kids. Like it's not a big deal.
That's fine.
We don't know who was on the ship, but somebody died.
She's the hero?
Yeah. What's what the fuck do you mean? What are you, stupid?
I, uh, I don't. I must be really out of touch.
Yeah, I mean, why aren't you seeing this shit? Like, come on. It's one of the most popular movie franchises in existence.
Is it? How has the movies been doing lately?
Listen, we don't release those numbers anymore.
Is that why they're doing the fucking the streaming services? They see what Microsoft's able to do and be like, we can do that too with our movies.
I mean, yeah, like all this stuff is like straight to streaming, you know. It's all about baiting people. It's like,
well, I know
shit. They've got Glup Shitto in the Andor show. I gotta see Glup Shitto. He was my favorite character in Clone Wars Season 2, Episode 4.
It's like
look up Glup Shitto. You gotta see what this character's design.
Wait. That was an actual name?
Yeah.
Glup Shitto?
Dude, come on. Don't act like you've never heard of Glup Shitto.
What is this?
What do you mean, what is this? Hang on, I'll pull a picture up.
I must have the wrong thing.
This character? It might take a second for the stream to catch up, but this character? He's one of the announced shows.
Yeah, that's in my. That's what came up when I punched his name in.
Yeah, so he was originally in the Clone Wars, and then he shows up again in episode 9.
Hold on. That isn't his name, right?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
What do you mean? What about Glup Shitto? Do you think Disney wouldn't sign off? It was a George Lucas character. He's grandfathered in.
I see.
Frankly, he was my favorite part of episode 9.
You know what? I can see why.
Yeah, well, okay, so
after you've told me,
after they went to Burning Man in episode 9, they went to this planet where they met up with this bounty hunter chick, right? And they all pulled guns on each other, and she points this gun at Rey Skywalker's head, and it's like, I was gonna shoot you, but actually I'm pretty turned on. I mean, you're all right. And I fucks the Oscar Isaac, because, you know, who wouldn't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Glup Shitto, you know, okay, so he's from Tatooine, and he was a guy originally, but his dad, like, had all these visions of the future, and his dad didn't want to turn into that worm creature, right? So he eventually walked away from that path. So Glup Shitto, to escape a prison, willingly turned himself into that form so that he could gain power and escape this prison. And he knew, because he had the foresight as well, that this would eventually result in him becoming the God Emperor of the universe, right? That he's going to take over everything. So he escapes this prison. It was called Arrakis. And he...
Wait.
What?
Arrakis? Like the Dune planet?
Well, that's what Tatooine was based on.
Okay, so they just took the name.
What?
Are you shitting me?
Well, no, like, you know, these franchises have a close history with each other. So anyways, he becomes the God Emperor, and he has this friend that he keeps reincarnating because he wants, like, this capable general figure to help him run his empire. So he keeps reincarnating his friend Duncan Idaho. And
What the fuck is going on?
You know how Star Wars characters' names are weird. So he keeps reincarnating.
No, stop! We cannot glaze over this.
His name's Duncan Idaho. I don't know what's weird about this.
No, there's no way. I refuse to believe that. I
Listen, Glup Shitto's bodyguard commander's name was Duncan Idaho, and he kept cloning him because he was too good at his job, and he had the foresight to know that he wouldn't successfully, throw a revolt or anything. But his big enemy was the Bene Gesserit, who were responsible for his dad's creation after like 100 breedings. She was supposed to have a daughter, but his dad, who was played by Oscar Isaac, it's Poe Dameron, wanted to have a son. This was the bounty hunter chick. So they had this kid. His name was Paul Atreides, and he was Glup Shitto's dad.
I gotta stop you. Where are we? What film or what are we discussing?
Oh, we're discussing Child of Dune.
Yes, I'm aware.
What do you mean?
I'm aware that you were telling me the Dune, the plot of Dune. What happened to Star Wars?
Well, this was the Glup Shitto was the crossover.
What?
Well, yeah. So they wanted to backdoor into a successful franchise.
Okay, hold on. So Glup Shitto, who was he again?
He was Leto Atreides. He was the son of Paul Atreides.
What? No, how he was somebody in prison and then he turned into Glup Shitto.
Yeah, so
in order to escape prison.
They imprisoned him on Arrakis, and he realized that in order to escape the prison, he would have to become one of the worms, which is what his dad feared. His dad didn't want to go down the golden path, so
there's no way this is
all right,
real.
there was a point where I just started crossing over Dune and Star Wars. So Glup Shitto is the meme name of whenever like Disney rolls out a character and like, you should be excited for this new character that's going to be in episode 9, Glup Shitto. But so because he looks like a worm character, I was like, I could like kind of, I played my hand a little too much with naming the characters, but I could have done the Dune thing for a while. Because in Dune, this is not in the movies yet, but Paul Atreides' son turns into a worm who becomes the God Emperor for like 100,000 years or something.
In the Dune films? Or
in the books, yeah.
Yeah. He turns
into a worm.
Okay. I never got up to that part of the books.
That's the part that people tell you to stop before you get to.
Yeah, I read the first one. I thought it was pretty good. And then I started the second one, and I kind of just fell off. That's kind of just how it happened.
But yeah, so Star Wars.
Okay, so
I don't know anything else. I mean, we haven't talked about everything.
You're holding out on me.
I think I hit most of the good stuff. Andor was supposedly a good show because the Republic was like mind torturing former Imperial officers.
Okay.
And like never letting them really rehabilitate or something.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that happened. So throughout episode 8, the premise of the movie is that they're being chased by the First Order and they're running out of fuel. If they run out of fuel, their ship will slow down and the First Order will catch up and kill them. So eventually they run out of fuel and as a desperate last stand while the rebellion goes to the final planet where they will all die, this lady who refused to tell anybody what the plan even was, and ended up having a coup because Leto Atreides didn't believe in her ability to lead because she didn't seem to have a plan. She turns the ship around and she jumps to light speed through the enemy ships and blows them all up. Now you might be thinking,
I'm
don't they
gonna
have
tell you? I'm
routes-
gonna tell you what I'm thinking. If that's possible, why bother with like guns and everything? If you could just go up to light speed and just ram through your enemies and obliterate
because
them.
they established in episode 9 that it's a 1 in a million chance to happen, even though in episode 9 they show it happening again.
I see. That
I like that you don't know anything about Star Wars and you still picked up on the issue people had with that.
That's just science fiction 101. When you see something like that, you got to question it. Because it's like, how?
Listen, it's not worth the resources, even though she could just keep doing it over and over until it works. Listen, she has this speech about how you have bet the lives of the Resistance on bad odds, and I forget the rest of it, but she specifies that his plan was stupid because he was betting on bad odds, and then she does this like 1 in a million move. It's established later as 1 in a million. As far as episode 8 is concerned, it's like a guaranteed thing.
Oh, so they retroactively make her sound like a hypocrite.
Well, they're trying to downplay it because you know how in episode 9, like 1 million of these fucking ships show up, and they're like, you know, supposed to be threatened, even though they could just send one ship to the planet and destroy it.
Yeah, like what if you just
like listen, hope is like the sun. You can't stop believing in it just because you don't see it.
What?
Well, that's the inspirational speech she gives. What do you mean, what?
Hope is like the sun. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean you don't believe in it.
It's peak.
I think I believe in the sun because it rises every fucking day.
Yeah, but you don't hope that it's gonna rise every day.
No, I just know it's going to rise every day.
Yeah, but you don't despair when it sets because you don't know that it's not going to show up again.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
You need to trust the plan.
Trust the science. I got it.
Mm-hmm. They're going to resurrect Leia any moment, okay? She might have gone out to space and she might have flown back. She may have been in zero pressure.
Oh yeah,
and died, but she'll be back.
Oh no, she died. She died because of the telephone call.
Well, that was in episode 9.
Okay. Oh, right.
In episode 8, she's decommissioned for most of the movie because she got sucked out into space and then unconsciously used the magic to pull herself back.
I see. Okay. My question: why don't they just like light speed ram the planets?
Because it's 1 in a million shot that you would do the calculations to hit a planet.
How?
It would be too difficult to hit a planet. They're too small.
What if I just like activated it like in low orbit? That sounds like a pretty much guarantee that I'm gonna hit it.
You voted for Trump, didn't you?
I did. And
Oh, it's
I also
true.
don't think the sun is gonna rise in the morning.
You know that there's robots, right? With like autonomous robots that they can give orders to, that like they could just put in the pilot's seat to do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
where's R2-D2 and
Oh, you
the
want to
fuck
hear about R2-D2's arc throughout the sequel trilogy? Okay, so R2-D2 in Episode 1
'Cause I'm just trying to think
no,
of,
hang
like-
on. He
Okay.
was like a service droid on Padme Amidala's ship. She was the queen of Naboo, by the way. He was just some droid, and they got into this gunfight, and he goes out while they're in the gunfight, and they're like shooting the droids off one at a time, but he completes the job and comes back down, and she's like, "Damn, you did such a good job." So he gets promoted to like main character status. I'll be honest, I don't remember what he does in Episode 2, but in Episode 3, he's in Anakin Skywalker's ship, and they go to the droid ship, and he manages to like fight off droids by shooting them with cum and like lighting them on fire.
Wasn't like the original like costume for like just a trash can basically?
Yeah, but there's a lot of like utility gadgets in there, and like, you know, well,
They made the trash can character a main character.
he was always the main character.
Was he?
So in Episode 9, he's turned off until... Sorry, in Episode 7, we're skipping too far ahead. In Episode 7, he's turned off until someone finds part of a map that points to where Luke Skywalker is. And when someone finds that, he turns back on to give them another part. And then he goes with them to meet Luke, and I forget the rest of what he does in the sequel trilogy. I'm going to be honest. He's there. He's in every movie. He's there, but you know, he's like Chewbacca. He kind of is just the dog.
Okay.
They have like six. They have like 6 dog characters. In the
See,
sequels.
because they've killed so many iconic characters that I feel like.
Well, in Episode 9,
R2-D2's time is gonna come.
No, it's C-3PO's time. So C-3PO it needs to translate hate speech into English, but he's not allowed to do that. So they have to do a mind wipe to factory reset him to where he can translate hate speech, but it's going to delete his brain. And all of the people around him are like, yeah, let's do that. We don't give a fuck. Fuck you, dude. You suck. Let's do that. And C-3PO's like, I'm just taking one last look at all my friends around me, and they're like, fucking do it, pussy.
So these were his friends.
No. These were all like the new characters. He didn't know any of these characters.
Okay. But
So
he was calling them his characters.
He's calling these characters his friends because he's coping with the fact that he's about to die.
Oh.
So they kill him and wipe his brain and reset him, and he translates the hate speech into English. Why did they do that? Oh yeah, they did that to tell her to take the knife to the planet where the Death Star crashed so that she could line up the protractor to point to where the Emperor's throne room was so that she could get the key to go to where the Emperor is hanging out at.
Okay. So the clue to doing all that was in hate speech.
Yes, because hate speech is the primordial language of the Sith.
Okay. I see.
Anyways, R2-D2's role in the movie is to carry the backup. So they've established this character's died, and then they just back him up and like re-upload his brain. I mean, you know, that instance of C-3PO died and sacrificed himself, but who gives a fuck, because we have like an older copy that we can just put back in.
Oh, I mean, you know, to be fair, he is just a robot, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, sure, you know, Solo is about how robots should have rights, but... Well, yeah, because Lando was fucking that one robot, and she was like a robot rights activist.
What?
Yeah, she like goes down to this planet to try to like start a robot revolution because they're using slaves to mine spice. And by the way, I'm not fucking with you. They mine spice on this planet. Yes, spice. They have to go collect spice to like do the Kessel Run, which is like they fly back by this black hole that's actually a giant tentacle alien monster.
What? You know, okay. I've heard people give George Lucas a lot of shit for like just coming up with like weird off the wall shit.
Mm-hmm.
Are those people still talking, or have they just shut the fuck up at this point?
So George Lucas would throw away like a background detail, like Han Solo would be like, "Yeah, I did the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs," and then the Solo is an entire movie about exploring what the Kessel Run is. So
I see.
But yeah, they're still
So-
working on like 36 new movies.
Was episode 9 the last one?
It's the last main episode for now. Yeah,
What
they
does that
call
mean?
1 through 9 the Skywalker saga because it's about Skywalkers, like Rey.
She's not a Skywalker though. She's not a Skywalker.
She married
until the
into
end.
it. She married into it.
Didn't she like suck somebody's soul out? Like,
That's what marriage is.
there's some jokes I want to make, but there's no way I can make them in this. Okay, so that's the end of this series.
No, I mean, they're doing a Rey trilogy. So, like, realistically, that's going to be 10, 11, and 12. So, the Skywalker saga will continue once those movies get out of production hell.
I hope they don't. This sounds
What
awful.
are you, fucking sexist?
This
You
sounds-
don't... do you think that Rey is a Mary Sue, perchance? There's, like, she's too powerful for no reason?
You're
You're not a men's right activist, are you?
From what you described, she does not sound like anybody's ideal person.
What do
She
you
sounds-
mean?
She sounds horrible.
She just kills a few people here
She
and
killed
there.
a lot of people.
So she shot down a ship one time. Who hasn't accidentally shit out lightning by mistake? It's just like, you ever like, you ever think it's, a fart and then you accidentally shit your pants. She did that with lightning.
I hope that's an.
What's
actual
gonna blow
argument
your
somebody
mind is that
used.
you will watch Star Wars and realize that I am not lying.
What do you mean?
I mean that you could watch the movies and I will be right. You will rewatch this VOD of where I describe Star Wars after you catch up to the latest season of The Acolyte, and you will realize that I am not making this up. This is not... I have exaggerated a few things, but for the most part, everything I say is based
the
in
Dune
truth.
crossover was. Let's be
That was-
honest.
that
it's
was-
just ahead of its time.
Yeah, no, it's early. Glup
That
Shitto will have his trilogy, and it's called Dune. They did the crossover. Why would you
So-
do that? Why watch all this slop? Because back in the 80s, they made 2.5 good movies.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of how I felt about it, really. It's like 2.5 good movies. It's like BioShock, right? Like the first 2/3 of BioShock 1 are good, and that's why we have them
Yeah.
making another BioShock game somehow.
Somehow.
They're making another BioShock game.
A lot of people jerked it to Elizabeth.
Yeah, I mean, Songbird was more my style, but
People have really come around on the prequel movies since the Disney Star Wars era. I mean, wouldn't you, based on how I described it?
I mean, that's what I was saying is like people people were giving what's his face a lot of shit, and I don't know. I'd be sitting here begging for him to come back.
Yeah, no, everybody wants George Lucas to take back over. We're sorry, George, that we made fun of the prequels.
He was just, you know what? Like if Jar Jar, if the setup really was that Jar Jar was going to be a Sith Lord in like the second or third movie,
it is silly that the Jedi who didn't want Anakin Skywalker to ever get horny would send him to live with a 20-year-old woman that used to hit on him when he was 7, and she was 13 at the time. And
okay.
So they go and basically live alone together in like a meadow and like a Italian villa kind of place. And they have dinners all the time, and she wears skimpy dresses, and they frolic in the flowers and roll around and stuff.
What is this? What movie is this?
This is episode 2.
Okay.
And then like he kind of gets curious about what's going on with his mom, because he knew his mom, and like she's a slave. Like, you know,
is this,
he was purchased out of slavery as a boy by Liam Neeson, by James from Fallout 3. And then nobody ever went and actually like freed his mom. So he goes to Arrakis and to find his mom, because she's working like the spice mines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's been sold to like, or kidnapped or something by like Tusken Raiders. And so he goes full like genocide on them. He just like wipes them out. And that's where the scene where he's like, I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them. Even the women and the children. And then they cut him off because, you know, he's talking about jerking off, right? So, and the 20-year-old girl is listening to this, and she's nodding her head, and she's saying, I want this man. Listen, I am an ardent protector of democracy. This is the type of man I need nutting inside me between movies. I need to get pregnant with his seed so I can bear his children.
Is this like the one, like is this like he talks about sand, like he hates sand?
Yeah, it's sand,
stuff.
it's coarse, it's rough, it gets everywhere, and that just gets her going.
Yeah, and he's saying that at the villa, right?
Mm-hmm. Before he goes and jerks off on all of the sand people.
How did he jerk off on all the sand people?
Well, that's why he has the highest metachlorian count.
What the fuck is a metachlorian?
It's like your ability to how much ketamine you can ingest before you get stoned. So like Yoda has a very high metachlorian count, so he can do a shitload of ketamine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like your ability to use force magic.
Why?
His number is really big, even though it doesn't matter because, like, he does nothing with his really big number. He's the chosen one because he has a big number.
Hold on. What? Is there like a test? Is there like a 23andMe that they do to figure out like their count?
Yeah, they take like a little blood sample back to the ship in episode 1, and they do a count, and Liam Neeson kind of shakes it and looks at it and says, I gotta buy this slave. But I don't have the money to buy the slave, because for some reason the slave town doesn't accept the money of the main government in this galaxy. So what I'm gonna do
they only deal in Bitcoin.
Yeah, they only deal in crypto. So what I'm gonna do, he takes a huge like half bottle of scotch. He slams it back and slams the bottle on the table. I'm gonna bet the ship. I know we'll be stranded here. The engine's broken. I'm gonna bet the ship on this race, and the kid is driving this car in the race. And if we win, I get this sex slave. And we get to take him back to society. And the engine, the engine was a side quest. The boy was the main quest, because he had the highest metachlorian count.
Okay. Is this planet Thailand by any chance?
No, it's Tatooine. But yes, he gambles the ship of royalty on a race where he gambles on a boy, like a 9-year-old boy winning this race that humans are bad at, but he's got the force, so he can like see the future and like drive really well.
Well, wait, this is the one who has the really high T count, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He has the
I got
highest T count. Not really high, the highest. He's the chosen one.
Okay, so like he knows he's gonna win the race. Like he's just flowing with T.
I mean, like, no. I mean, it's like really dangerous.
Okay, because he might like.
I mean, he had
What-
like droids that he could have gone and bet. He bet the ship. He wasn't really thinking about it. He did use the Force to like manipulate a dice roll to determine which
Wait,
sex
hold
slave
on.
he was going to buy.
Hold on. Okay, so he thinks the sex slave is gonna win the race because like he can see the future because he has a really high T count.
Yes.
But he can't. Who the fuck are we talking about?
We're
Obi-Wan?
talking about Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson can't see the future because his T count isn't high.
His T
enough.
count isn't high enough to see that far in the future.
Okay. Continue.
So he wins, and he gets the boy slave, but they can't get his mom. And he
'Cause-
takes him back to society, and now he has to explain to his bosses why he was gone for 3 weeks and came back with a sex slave.
Did he came back with the ship though, right?
He had the ship, yes, he completed his mission of escorting her to the government.
Okay.
But the Jedi didn't care about the ship. They just cared that he came back, basically. And for some reason, he has a sex slave now that he's keeping as
Okay.
like a pet.
Okay. So it's like in a Starfield where you just take that child that what's her face abandoned on that planet and just bring her back to the lodge, and then that's kind of it.
I mean, if you got drunk and gambled your ship on buying a sex slave, it would be the same thing.
Okay.
So Qui-Gon, we sent you on a diplomatic mission and you came back with a boy.
Uh-huh.
You're a
Yeah.
renegade Qui-Gon, but god damn it. You're the best on this force. So they won't let him into the Jedi because he's 9 and he's too old. They want to get him young, right? The Jedi are really into young boys. But
What
like
the fuck?
he's not young enough.
Too old.
Too old. So like they reject him, and now he's just like kind of Qui-Gon's ward. Like it's not really established what Qui-Gon plans to do to them, but the Jedi already have another assignment for Qui-Gon. So he goes with them back to Naboo, and they're like, we're going to fight this battle. You need to stay here because you're 9. And he's like, okay. And then he's like sneaks behind them, and he gets in a ship, and he accidentally goes to space with that ship and takes down like an entire fleet by like flying through a ringed donut ship. And this is going on throughout the battle. He ends up blowing up the ship, and that deactivates all of the droids on the ground. So he wins the day.
Oh.
And then Liam Neeson gets stabbed by the robot leg guy. The guy who got cut in half and fell down the 5,000-foot shaft.
Wait, he's back?
No. This is when he dies. No, he doesn't
Okay,
die here.
okay.
This is when he gets cut in
Yeah.
half. He gets disabled here. But he stabs Liam Neeson in the stomach. In the tum-tum.
Okay.
And that will be survivable later, but it's not survivable at this point in the plot.
Oh. Well, because I was going to say, like, usually that's not a fatal thing. That's why I usually hear somebody who got, like, stabbed in the gut, like, 100-something times. Because...
Oh, I forgot. The guy he buys the sex slave from is smuggling... No. He speaks in a New York Jewish accent, is resistant to mind control, and wears a kippah. And traffics in slaves. And like used cars.
That sounds even more problematic than the goblins in Harry Potter.
You should look. What's his
who
name?
run the bank.
What's his name? Was his name Greedo? Hang on, Jew alien from Star Wars. This will pop it up. Watto. His name was Watto. Sorry,
Oh
Greedo
my-
was the guy from episode 4.
Oh my god. So
I'll pop an image up on screen.
I guess George Lucas has some opinions about a certain group.
All right, this is Watto. He'll pop up in a second. This was when Star Wars was great.
Oh my.
What?
What
What about the beard and the
I think
nose?
I've seen these in my textbooks in high
which section?
school.
Like what years? Like in history?
like 1932 to like 1945, 46, like around that area. It just
Jedi mind tricks do not work on me, only money.
is that an actual line?
Yeah. Oh, the accents of the Trade Federation, they're like, oh. What are one of the lines of the Trade Federation people? Episode 1 Trade Federation quote. Someone give me a line. Oh, now there are 2 of them. Yes, that's how their characters are.
I see. So okay. If George Lucas comes back, is he gonna say that the Space Hitlers 1 through 99 did nothing wrong?
Listen, it was all about stopping the Trade Federation. We had to import 1 billion H-1Bs because the Trade Federation was getting too powerful.
Oh my god. Where were we?
So Liam Neeson gets...
We're in so deep at this point.
Liam Neeson was stabbed in the stomach, and his dying wish is that Ewan McGregor raise Anakin as a Jedi, even though the council said no, but they gotta respect him now because he died, right? So Anakin becomes a Padawan, and Palpatine, you remember Palpatine? He's Rey's grandfather. He like comes and he's like, oh, you were a boy sex slave. I'll be keeping my eye on your future very closely. And that's episode 1.
Okay. And I know how it ends. The boy sex slave becomes Darth Vader, right?
Yes, he gets groomed into being Darth Vader. So, like, in episode 3, he has this vision of...
Listen, just from what you've told me so far, I would become Darth Vader as well.
Listen, he has the highest ketamine resistance of the Jedi, right? So he has this vision of his wife dying in childbirth because he nutted in her too many times and now she's pregnant with twins. But it's Natalie Portman, like her thin frame cannot support childbirth. Even though they have like technology. So he has this vision of her dying and he goes to Yoda and it's like, dude, I fucked up. I nutted in this chick. And Yoda's like, oh, abandoned children I have. Yoda, not original name. Dodge child support. Jedi do. And Anakin's like, fuck, man. None of these Jedi can give me advice on being a dad. So he goes to his other friend, the guy that's been grooming him since he was 9, Palpatine. And Palpatine's like, oh yeah, I know Sith legends about being a dad. So there was this guy, and he had this apprentice named Darth Sidious. And listen, Darth Plagueis had this power where he could remotely nut in women without their consent. And Anakin's like, Palpatine, where's this going? Like, I asked you about being a father. And he's like, oh, I was getting to that, Anakin. So I am a father. I remotely came inside your mom to give birth to you.
So this is how Darth Vader learned who his father was.
Well, he doesn't learn this, but it's implied because Shmi, that's Anakin's mom's name, by the way, is Shmi Skywalker.
Shmi?
She had a virgin birth. There's no baby daddy.
Wait. Okay. First off, Shmi?
What?
Schmeagol?
Schmeagol Skywalker.
Shmi.
I'm sorry, I must have confused you. Remember when I said that Rey was the Virgin Mary? It was Anakin's mom. Anakin's mom was the Virgin Mary, and Rey was Jesus. Now, you would think that Anakin was Jesus because Shmi had the virgin birth, but how it worked was Shmi had the virgin birth, Anakin became Hitler, Hitler died to motivate Luke to think he's all that. Luke tries to kill his nephew, realizes it's a bad idea. Luke's nephew becomes evil, wants to fuck this chick, gets his soul sucked out of his penis by her, and she becomes Jesus.
Wait, okay. Hold on. Does that mean that Rey and the guy she soul sucked aren't they like related then?
Not by blood, by like spirit essence, yeah.
Okay.
So she's Palpatine's granddaughter, and he is Luke's nephew. But Luke came on his face while he was sleeping at the Jedi Temple and tried to kill him. And, Kylo didn't take that. Oh, sorry. His name is Ben, but his name's also Kylo. So he's Ben Solo and Kylo Ren.
Okay. I've heard of Kylo Ren.
So
I've heard a lot of
Luke Skywalker
opinions.
lost his vital essence to his nephew. Vital essence being a metaphor for cum, right? Because pedestry was a big thing in the Jedi. So then Kylo has the vital essence, and he gets force connected with Rey, and he gets the vital essence sucked out of him by Rey. So now she has the vital essence from... Oh wait, Luke got the vital essence from Darth Vader when he beat him in a fight and sucked his soul out.
Wait,
and then,
I don't remember him sucking his soul out.
well, this was in episode 6. You didn't watch it. He dies, he takes Darth Vader's mask off, and he's like, dude, I'm your dad. And then, like, Anakin's Force Ghost shows up to give him the Holy Jesus.
Oh, okay. So he actually did suck his soul out? Or his essence?
He sucked the evil part out. That was the important part. That was from Darth Plagueis. That was the virgin birth.
Wait. So the essence is bad.
Yeah, because he was Hitler, dude. Listen, what aren't you understanding? So, Shmi Skywalker gets remotely impregnated by a Sith Lord and gives birth to Anakin Skywalker, who has the highest ketamine resistance, and becomes Darth Vader, who gets taken down by his son, and the evil shit goes into Luke's veins, and he becomes evil, tries to kill his nephew, evil shit goes into Kylo's veins, Kylo becomes evil, Kylo gets force connected with Rey, gets his soul sucked out by Rey, she becomes evil, and becomes Rey Skywalker, and that's the Skywalker saga. That's how Shmi is the Holy Mother, and Rey is Jesus.
But so she isn't the good guy. She's the bad guy.
Well, yeah, she's like the fucking son of Hitler. Sorry,
But-
granddaughter.
But like, I thought she was supposed to be like the hero.
Dude, she
Why are
sucks
they-
out a guy's vital essence and shoots down a ship full of people. I don't know if she's the hero, man.
But didn't you call me a chud for not liking her?
Well, you can... Haven't you heard of an anti-hero?
I think we're beyond the point of anti-hero here. It sounds like she is literally primordial evil incarnate.
No, she defeats primordial evil incarnate because she has the gay that she inherited through a line of jizz transmissions from Shmi Skywalker.
Wait. Oh. Because I thought she was collecting like all the Jedi cum and
Yeah, but the big one was Kylo.
okay. So
back to episode 1. Wait, no, we're on episode 2. So
yeah.
no, we were doing episode 3. So Palpatine's
What
telling
happened
him
in
this story
happened in
about
episode
how
2
he
then?
came inside his mom. You know, Luke, or you know, Anakin, I'm basically your father. I may have been grooming you for the last 20 years, but I need you to do some shit. Listen, the cops are coming by soon. Can you hold this for me? Like, the
Wait,
Jedi are gonna
hold-
swing by. Mace
on,
Windu's
hold
gonna
on.
try to kill me.
Pause. So he remotely impregnated his mom, right?
Yes.
Okay. How
Wait.
But-
so he's Anakin's dad, which means that his granddaughter Rey is related to Kylo. Because Palpatine would be Luke's grandfather, so he would be Leia's grandfather. So Palpatine is
Is this just
Kylo's
like-
great grandfather and
Is this
Rey's
just like
grandfather.
the story of the Kennedys? Like Okay.
Yes.
My question though is, so he impregnated his mom on Arrakis, right? Or Thailand.
Yeah.
And then he just happens to be won by Liam Neeson, who
Yes.
basically just made a drunk gamble.
Was slammed on scotch.
Yeah, and bought
Bought a
the
sex slave.
Bought the sex slave.
Mm-hmm. From a
So-
Jewish stereotype.
Yes, you're correct. Why did what's his face remote impregnate his mom?
Because that would make the strongest in the universe so that he has a vision of his wife dying in childbirth because he can see that far in the future and falls to the dark side because Palpatine tells him the story about how he can make life and that would keep Padme alive.
Yeah, but like how where's Palpatine's end in all this? Why did he
Well, we're getting to that.
Okay.
So
But like why wouldn't he just go and buy the sex slave?
Well, okay, so he needed him to be raised by the Jedi so that he would trust the Jedi, but he would be manipulating him so that he would send Obi-Wan on this mission to go kill this guy named General Grievous, and then Anakin would be by himself so he could finally be manipulated because he nutted in this chick. And so Mace Windu shows up to kill Palpatine because he's the evil guy, and Anakin's like, holy shit, it's black on white violence, and he cuts Samuel Jackson's hand off, and then Palpatine shoots him out a window with lightning, and Anakin's like, oh my god, I just killed a black dude, what will Padme think? And Palpatine's like, dude, you gotta hide the evidence. Can you go to Lava Planet and kill all the Trade Federation leaders? Because I have them all there on my
Wait.
orders. Because he's running both sides of the war, by the way.
Okay. What does killing all the space
Well, okay, so-
traders?
He manipulated a war into happening run by the Trade Federation against the Republic and the Republic had clones. They had the Boba Fett clones, and the Trade Federation had droids, and they fought this big war, and the Jedi were turned into like generals of the clone army so that they would lose their pacifist values and slowly get killed off. And then Palpatine sets up this thing called Order 66, where after he shoots Mace Windu out of a building, he calls all the clone commanders and says, "Execute Order 66." And the clones kill all the Jedi. Okay? So
because they've all lost their plot armor because they've been corrupted.
And then he figures out, okay, the clones are the stronger of the two armies. He tells all the Trade Federation people, go to Mustafar, General Grievous will show up to tell you what to do, and then he goes and sends Anakin to kill all of them.
Yeah, but how does
we'll
Anakin
get to the child
going
murder,
there?
Don't worry.
Okay. I don't even know what the child murder is. I'm still hung up on the black on white violence and how going and killing the Trade Federation hides his evidence.
Well, he was orchestrating this big civil war, and he needed to kill all the people that knew that he was Palpatine, because he burned his face while he was shooting, and he was shooting Mace Windu with lightning, and he burned his face, and he realized, I'm going to look like Palpatine for the rest of my life. If the Trade Federation people find out, they're going to tell the internet. And if the internet knows that I orchestrated the war, they're not going to give me the emergency powers I need to form the Empire. So he sends Anakin to go kill the Trade Federation people so that nobody knows that Palpatine orchestrated the entire war, and then he gets emergency powers from Jar Jar and becomes the Emperor.
But every time I ask a question, you just hit me with a bunch of other stuff. I just want to know why did Anakin agree to this?
Because Palpatine was going to tell him how to save his wife from dying from childbirth.
Wait, but what happened to Samuel Jackson?
They realized that Palpatine was the Sith Lord, and they tried to arrest him. And when Palpatine resisted, he pulled out a gun, a weapon, and did a duel. Palpatine kills 4 Jedi in a duel. Well, 3 Jedi, and then Mace Windu. And then Anakin shows up, and Palpatine's like, "Oh my god, I don't have a weapon, and fucking Mace Windu is trying to kill me. I told you, Anakin, the Jedi they're too power hungry. They're gonna kill me." Plus, there was this scene where Anakin was like, "I should be on the Jedi Council," and they're like, "We'll put you on the council, but we're not going to give you the rank of master." And he's like, "What? How can I be on the council if I'm not a master?" So he's mad at the Jedi, and then he sees Mace Windu trying to rob Palpatine. And
so he staged it to trick Anakin into.
So Anakin cuts his hand off, and then Palpatine shoots him out a window with lightning, and Anakin's like, "Wait a second." He doesn't think like, "Wait a second, he has lightning. What the fuck?" He's just like, "I can't believe I did that."
Yeah. Isn't like lightning a Sith power?
I mean, yes, but
what?
Well, okay, so earlier in the movie, Palpatine had been kidnapped by this guy named General Grievous, and he was aboard a Trade Federation ship. And Anakin and Obi-Wan go to kidnap him, and they meet Count Dooku. Do you remember Count Dooku?
Count Dookie?
I
don't remember Count Dookie.
Count Dooku was he was Liam Neeson's master, and he's the apprentice of Yoda. Okay.
Wait. Was Liam Neeson a sex slave?
Probably, because Count Dooku was like this weird Trade Federation guy that had was an outsider.
Were all the Jedi?
Well, yeah, they're raised from childhood in a cult that doesn't let them get married.
So they're like.
Count Dooku has the lightning.
So this is Epstein's Island.
Yes.
Like the Jedi thing, it's just Epstein's Island, and everybody who lives on Epstein's Island grew up on Epstein's island, and they just don't know any better anymore.
Yeah, it's
And
just
they're
like
"This is just
generations
normal."
upon generations of pedestry.
Yeah. This is just normal.
Yeah. So
Okay.
they meet Count Dooku, and they're on General Grievous's ship, and they fight Count Dooku, and Obi-Wan is like knocked unconscious, and then Anakin gets the upper hand, which is funny because he got his hand cut off by Count Dooku in the last movie. And then Palpatine's like, you should fucking kill him, fucking behead his ass, and then hit the gritty. And Anakin's like, but that's not what Jedi do. And it's like, pussy. And Anakin's like, well, shit, I don't want to be a pussy. And he cuts his head off. And that was Palpatine's like apprentice. Well, he was Palpatine's Sith apprentice and Yoda's Jedi apprentice.
Oh. So, like, he was pretty goated. He had a really high T count, I'm assuming.
He was really good at sword fighting.
It's sword fighting. I thought we were using lightsabers.
Well, they're swords, but
Okay. I thought we switched to medieval weapons here for a second.
don't forget that Count Dooku also didn't decide to just say, wait, Anakin, he's Darth Sidious for some reason. Well, you know, Count Dooku was on the level. He knew his part in Palpatine's conspiracy to coerce Anakin into being a Darksider.
And it's all...
So
and this is all just because he has a high T count.
Yeah.
So they're like...
Well, the
just
high T count
destroying
is
the-
just so that Anakin foresees his wife's death so he can be manipulated. That's pretty much it. He doesn't really
Wait,
use
what?
his force powers to do anything else.
What? So he just needs it so that he can see the future so that he becomes a Sith Lord?
Yeah, that's basically it.
But, like... does he really want him to... Like, does Palpatine really want him to be a Sith Lord? Because...
Well,
of his
so he
high T
wanted
count?
Anakin's twink body, but we're not to the part where he goes
Oh.
through twink death.
Oh, okay.
So
continue.
come
then.
on, let me finish here. So Obi-Wan goes to kill General Grievous, and they're on this like whole planet, and Obi-Wan is riding a dinosaur, and he goes down to like this meeting where like General Grievous is talking to all the middle managers, and he's like, here at the Trade Federation, we value diversity and equity and inclusion in our hiring practices. And that's why we need 1 million H-1B visas to import. And then Obi-Wan jumps down and he's like, hello there. And General Grievous is like, holy fuck! And like pulls out 4 lightsabers because he's got 4 arms.
Oh, yeah, I know this guy.
So
I know this
he
guy.
duels, they duel each other, and Grievous is supposed to be like this uber powerful great sword fighter, but it just so happens that Obi-Wan practices Form 4 lightsaber fighting, which allows him the perfect defense to counter Grievous's perfect offense, so he's able to win the fight. But what ends up happening is they all like lose all their lightsabers, and then like Obi-Wan just gets a gun and shoots him in the chest 3 times.
Oh.
And then like just goes back. Now you might be wondering what this has to do with the plot. And the answer is that it's just so that Obi-Wan is separated from Anakin.
Okay.
So they're doing Order 66, and Anakin is sent to the Jedi Temple to go kill all the Jedi, right? So he's leading this assault, and Anakin's like, oh, wait a second, I can smell young boys. So he goes to the Jedi Council chamber where all the kids are hiding. And he goes, oh, I'm going to enjoy this. And he pulls out his lightsaber. And then he like starts slowly walking towards the kid with his lightsaber in hand. And then it cuts from the gratuitous scene of what he does to those kids. But let's just say that there was a lot of therapy afterwards. You know all the like Jedi that survived to play the video games? Like Cal Kestis from the EA game?
Sure.
He's one of those kids.
Okay.
Yeah, he survives what Anakin did to those young boys with his lightsaber.
I see. So why did he go H mode on them?
They had to kill all the Jedi.
Yeah. Why is he like just because he saw
He
Samuel
participated.
Jackson
He
pull out a
participated in the
gun.
murder of a black man, and that sent him over the edge.
He's in it now. He's in it
He's
for
in
life.
too deep.
Yeah.
Palpatine's like, "Hey, hold this shit for me," and Anakin's like, "Fuck, I guess I'm doing crime now." So Anakin, he deals with the younglings, right? And Obi-Wan comes back and he meets with Yoda because he survives Order 66. Because in Obi-Wan's case, they just kind of miss. They shoot
Hold
next
on,
to him and he
hold
falls
on.
into a body of water.
Wait. Back up. How does one of those kids survive? Like, isn't Anakin supposed to have like super high, like the highest T count imaginable? Like,
Well, like
shouldn't he just be so yoked that he just like cleaves
they've
all
portrayed
of them
it
in
many
half?
times. You know, they had like a Jedi Master with them that they were behind, and the Jedi Master valiantly sacrificed himself to kill like 2 clone troopers, which are like, you know, the most dog shit unit in the galaxy
Yeah.
besides the Clankas. Oh yeah, by the way, there's an in-universe slur for the droids that fight in the army.
Oh.
You can say clanka. Clanker is our word. So and by the way, this is not a bit. They actually do use the term clankers to refer to the droids multiple times. Like chat can confirm I'm not making that up.
Well, you know, in a universe that, what is the name of that music? Space Jizz.
Space jizz, yeah.
I can buy it. I can believe it.
All right, so the clones fuck up killing Obi-Wan and he survives. And Yoda's like, "Wait a second, I can sense something's going on." And he just like randomly does a backflip and cuts 2 clones' heads off. And then the clone janitor looks over and like, "Master Yoda, that's like the 5th time this week." So Yoda and Obi-Wan survive the Jedi genocide. And they meet up on Coruscant and they go to the Jedi Temple and they look at the footage of what Anakin did to those poor kids. And they're like, he's long gone.
I need therapy after this.
So Obi-Wan goes to meet up with
That's
Anakin.
it. I'm retiring from the Force.
Yeah, so Yoda retires because he's too old for this shit. And Obi-Wan's like, "I'll go deal with Anakin." So they meet up. Padme and Obi-Wan sneaks on Padme's ship, and Padme goes to Lava Planet where Anakin's busy killing all the Trade Federation people. And then he comes outside and he sees her and he's like, "You fucking whore! You cheated on me with Obi-Wan!" And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "I don't know. I feel so much guilt about what I did to all that black man. I cut his hand off. I guess I killed those younglings too, but you know." Mace Windu had a name. He was a named character. So then he just starts to like choke her the fuck out for like suggesting that he's contributing to the fall of democracy, right?
Ooh.
Padme. He
No,
kills his wife. Well, no,
Ooh.
but yes, he kills his wife.
That's all right. Wait. Hold on. Wasn't his whole arc about like he watched his wife die or something?
He saw a vision of his wife dying, but he was
And-
mad and in the moment, so he choked her out.
So the twist is that he's the one who killed her.
No,
He's the reason.
actually not. So they take her to the hospital at the end of the movie, and she gives birth, and then she's like, "I'm just so fucking sad." And then her heartbeat monitor goes, "Beep."
So, okay. So she doesn't die from getting choked.
No,
She dies from heartbreak.
I mean, the term we use, the medical term we use, is she died from sadness.
Okay.
So before that, though, Obi-Wan and Anakin have a fight, and it's a very long, very drawn-out fight on Lava Planet. And then they end up, like, kind of on two skiffs. Well, okay, Obi-Wan's on a skiff, and Anakin's on the head of a robot. And Obi-Wan jumps to the riverbed of the river of lava, and Anakin, like, comes over, and Obi-Wan's like, "You're a fucking idiot, okay? Do not attack me, because I will cut 2 of your legs and 1 of your arms off if you try to jump over me." And Anakin's like, "Fuck that. Palpatine said I'd be a pussy if I didn't." And so he jumps over him, and Obi-Wan cuts one of his arm and 2 of his legs off, and he kind of, like, rolls down the hill. And Obi-Wan's like, I told you, I fucking told you this is what would happen. I don't know why you would do the exact thing I told you not to do. I had the high ground. And Anakin's like, "Fuck, I hate you." And Obi-Wan's like, "You were supposed to destroy the Sith and join them." And Anakin's like, "Dude, the prophecy says nothing about that. And it turns out it just means that I have a vision of my wife dying. I'm not even, like, really all that strong. I got my ass kicked by you." And Obi-Wan's like, "Damn, bro, I killed Grievous. What the fuck?" And then, like, Anakin slides down a little bit, and his leg catches on fire, and Obi-Wan's like, "Holy fuck, you're on fire!" And Anakin's like, "Ah, shit. Fuck, why did we fight near this ocean of lava?"
Wait, is that... There's a corpse in an Oblivion cave. Is that
it might be a reference, yeah. He's like, holy fuck, my legs are on fire, dude. And Obi-Wan's like, "Dude, I thought he only has one. He has his stumps are on fire, and he has one arm. So his stumps are on fire. He's dying, and Obi-Wan's like, "I was here to kill him. This is good enough. Like, he's down there. He's burning to death. His legs and arm are cut off. Like, there's no fucking way he could survive this. I could finish it, but..."
Yeah, you're just gonna let him suffer, like, just burn and bleed to death?
I know what he did to those kids.
That doesn't sound very Jedi of you.
Well, we're pacifists. We don't believe in violence. It would be unnecessary violence for me to kill him.
Unnecessary violence? Well, I guess I don't believe in assisted suicide.
Well, I mean, if the kid's too depressed after his training, then... Listen, Obi-Wan was fading from his high, and this was a real buzzkill. So Obi-Wan goes back to the ship and leaves with Padme, because she's got to go to the hospital. You know, she got choked out a bit. She's giving birth.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
So Palpatine shows up, and he's like, "Holy fuck, I invested in a twink. You got your fucking legs cut off, your arms gone, and your entire body was lit on fucking fire. How are you still alive, dude?" And Obi-Wan's like, "Hey, I fucking hate..." No, there's no dialogue for this part, but they take him to the hospital, and he gets, like, reconstructed, and he put in the Darth Vader suit. And Palpatine's like, "Bro, when I invested in you, you had a T count of like 20,000. And now you're like fucking 5,000. I mean, you're still strong, but like, I invested in the chosen one. This is going to set my plan back like 40 years. I'm going to have a kid. And that kid's going to have a grandkid. And then your daughter is going to have a son. And he's going to fuck my grandkid. And they're going to make the ultimate being to replace you because you suck dick." Sorry, you wasted your potential.
I mean,
it's like,
if
fuck.
he was a good twink, he would have actually sucked the ultimate.
Yeah, no, he would have sucked off Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
In there.
So that was for Luke to be born, right?
Yeah, so Luke and Leia are born.
But I thought Luke was just like, he doesn't fucking matter. It's really about.
Well, no, he still has to suck off the 5,000 metachlorians from Darth Vader, so he can pass it on. That's all part of Palpatine's plan.
Okay. So that then he can then pass that on to Rey?
Well, Kylo gets it, and then Rey gets it.
Yeah. But
This
like,
is all in the plan, yeah.
okay, that's all in the plan as well.
Well, yeah. Palpatine
Okay.
started laying seed as soon as possible. He was pretty old, so...
Okay. So he's like, what are they called? The prisoners in World of Warcraft?
The Defias?
No, the like the guys who are behind it all.
Oh.
In retail.
Oh, the jailer.
Jailer, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's orchestrating everything.
Okay. He's the jailer, he's the like
He
Illuminati.
couldn't foresee that
Is
Anakin would get his ass whipped on Mustafar, but he can definitely foresee that Reylo is going to happen. It's in the canon.
Okay. Right. That makes sense. How did he see that?
Well, he has a pretty high T count too.
Yeah, but like he must have a higher T count.
You remember he shot a bunch of ships
Anakin.
down with lightning.
Yeah. But like, it doesn't sound like he really needed Anakin all that much then.
Anakin's T count was just enough that he could foresee the future. Okay, he was just getting started.
But I thought Anakin was supposed to have like the highest T count. Or is that just according to Liam Neeson? Liam Neeson
did the blood test, but he was drunk at the time. He might have, added an extra 0.
Okay. So like Palpatine, he has the higher count.
Well, no.
What do you mean no?
We don't really know what his T count was, but it's like implied that Anakin's is higher.
But
the problem is Anakin never learned how to use magic. Well, I mean, Obi-Wan didn't use magic either. He cut him in half with a sword. But
yeah,
he knew the ultimate defensive technique. It was established earlier in the story. That was the whole point of the Grievous plot.
Is that high ground wins?
No, it's like ultimate defense, you know.
Oh, yeah. I see.
So is that all of your questions answered?
Yeah, I think that's it.
So what was worse, Star Wars or Star Trek?
I think Star Wars is worse.
Yeah, I can see how you'd come to that conclusion.
Now, we never even talked about Rogue One. I've heard a lot of things about Rogue One.
Rogue One was a in-between movie of episode 3 and 4 about these rebels who stole the Death Star plan and then all died.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically it. Like the worst lore about it is that the guy who made it made like this really cool war movie, and then Disney was like, "Man, that's too cool. We're gonna need to nerf it like 40%." And they fired that guy and got a different director to reshoot some stuff.
Wait, who did they hire?
I don't remember.
Purge?
I don't remember any of the names. It was it was some guy who did like, war movies.
Okay.
I think there was like a tentacle monster that fucked a guy's ears in that movie.
Okay, so when did episode 9 come out?
2019, like right before COVID.
Oh, interesting. Has there been like any movies since then?
Movies? No. TV shows? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, anyways.
Like Starfleet Academy, which used green screen footage of the original Star Trek cast as instructors, weren't usable. In a panic, they pulled other interplay teams in to painstakingly repair the footage frame by frame, as reshoots weren't an option. Famously, Star Trek Secret of Vulcan Fury aimed to push boundaries with a digitized likeness of Spock, Kirk, and Bones in a staggering 5+ hours of CGI cutscenes.
That's pretty cool. Like cutting edge tech.
Yeah.
Well, What? You don't have a thought about what he said? Bro, you're like stealing his fucking content and then you don't have anything to say about it?
You, I think I need to go. I think I need to go.
Oh shit, my headphones got unplugged. So.
I said I need to go.
That was,
that was a stream.
Thanks for turning out chat. I can't wait for Indigo to watch this. He's like, do they ever fucking get back to my video?
So the tier list, right? We
Yeah, the tier list. Chat, we did a tier list like 6
I
hours
hope we
ago.
settled. I hope we settled the the debate about what's the best houses and worst houses in Bethesda games.
Well, oh yeah, the name of the stream. By the way, I tagged this as a Fallout New Vegas stream. Just saying.
Next week, huh?
Next Sunday. We will continue watching Indigo's video, so go check it out. I was liking the history part.
Good night, everybody.
See you later, chat.